All right, people, today I have with us the SD Gundam EX Standard Gundam Aerial. And this is from the Witch from Mercury series and also the EX Standard series of SD model kits from Bandai. So lots of names here. I will put them all on the screen, of course, as you usually do. So this is a little tiny version of the Aerial. As far as what an SD kit is, it's the super deformed line. So instead of high grade, master grade, things like that, you get the small chibi form, and they call that super deformed. I have built quite a few of these. I really love SD kits. They're a lot of fun, really fast builds, and of course, as you know, I do really like the fast builds. So this doesn't have a write-up or anything like that. It just has a simple set of instructions. You start slapping things together and adding stickers on right away. These multi-part kits are really fun to do. I highly recommend if you've ever had any interest in model kits and never got into them. This is something that you can pop out of, maybe an hour, and you'll have a nice looking kit. That it's not perfect. A lot of people complain that, there's a lot of color correction on these things, but it looks, you can't tell me that doesn't look like Gundam Aerial. It's just what it is. They don't have a lot of articulation, but I will go ahead and cover it. There is a double ball joint in the head, and that is one at the top and one at the bottom. So you do get quite a lot of articulation out of that section. The shoulder is the entire shoulder here. It is articulated in a ball joint, which is pretty long, and you can move it quite a lot for what it is. Pushing that back in so that it looks nice and snug. Just a simple elbow articulation, but you can use the ball joint that it's mounted to at the top as an additional layer of articulation. The hand is simple ball joint. They do that quite often. The shield is on a swivel joint here, just a peg with a hole, and that lets you spin it around. You can also articulate the handle inside his hand, her hand. These will come off, and I'll show you those later. But moving on to the torso. Inside here, there's a rocker inside the top part that lets you rock that back and forth this way. And that actually connects to a ball joint, so you can actually move that this way as well. Hips are on ball joints as well. So you get quite a lot out of those. You can scoot them over to the side if you want more. There is no knee on this particular model kit. A lot of the SDs do have knees, but this one doesn't. And that is okay. You do get a backwards ball joint on this one to articulate your foot. And like I said, there isn't a lot to these, but what you do get, you can get a pretty satisfactory pose out of them. And they're really nice looking on the shelf, just especially when there's a lot of them. Hopefully they do more in this series. Like I mentioned, you can actually remove these off of the shield, and that's just these two, so you can do the bit on mode. There isn't any way to detach all of them off. Some people have actually taken the high grade shield and put them together with the SD, and I think that looks pretty cool. But you can put these guys here, and they did give you ports specifically for that. It looks pretty nice. Actually, it's supposed to be this way, I think. There you go. There you go. Pretty cool. It also comes with your rifle, so you can pull that off of the peg that it's pegged into and slide this guy out. Put this one in, and you have your gun. You can also dock this to the shield here, and you kind of have that look of the bit-on version. But I think that's reaching a little bit. Something you can do, though. As far as extras, there aren't really any. You get the sword, and of course that will need to be painted in a proper color if you wanted to do so. And you do get a couple of deactivated versions of the stickers that you see on the aerial here. So you get red eyes. I think that's supposed to be the activated version, but I don't think I've seen that. So I use the green. And all of these guys here would be in black if you wanted to use those ones. Or you could just leave them off. Some of them, they are on black already. So, well, it's not black, it's a clear plastic like this is. So you could just leave those blank. As far as size comparison, I say they're small, but they're not that small. Like I said, they do have a pretty good shelf presence. You can put a few of them on there. I think they would compete really well with other shelf warmers like your Funko Pops, things like that. They're around that size. So like you see here with the high grade, it is pretty decently sized actually. Here she is next to the Alto. Here she is next to the Jinrai from Frame Arms. Frame Arms Girl Architect. Here's one that I'm actually surprised is very similar in size. That's the Hexagear Governor Nero. And of course the absurdly large and big imposing Master Grade Alex Gundam. Alright, before I close out, I wanted to show it what it looks like next to the high grade Gundam aerial. And you can see a lot of the features are very similar. Of course, you do get a very noticeable lack of leg length, but you can see that a lot of the features are all copied and work really well over. And like I said, a lot of people do take that high grade shield and put it on this one, and it just really does give you some effect that you are missing on the little guy. I, for one, think this is a really great copy of what you see from the really awesome high-grade aerial here. And I wish that they come out with more of these really great combos. I know they came out at the same time. We're also getting that full mechanics line one, so we will see what else comes out in the future. But I definitely think that they need to come out with more of these SD Gundams. One of the reasons I'm quite fond of these is if you don't feel like you need to put these stickers on, and a lot of people don't because stickers are ugly and kind of tacky, but you got to remember these are pretty cheap, so ugly and tacky is kind of the point. You know, they're not that valuable. That said, the details on the actual kit are pretty incredible. They have a lot of deep scoring lines, that you want to detail up with a panel liner. And that's something that I get a lot of joy out of, is bringing these features out and making them pop. They do have quite a lot of feature to something so small. I actually think I left off a sticker somewhere, but that's fine. Still, like, you see all these different little patterns. They're actually replicated underneath. You'll have those ribs underneath this that you can paint if you didn't want to put the stickers on, which, again, I understand if you don't. They're kind of tacky, but still not a bad looking little guy. And I think it's only $10. You might pay a little bit more for them. You might pay a little bit less for them. They're supposed to be, I think MSRP for them is about $10. So I think in Japan you get them for $7. If you can get them from Japan and ship them over here, it ends up being around $10. So it's fine to pay a little bit more over here, I think. If you're going to get what you want. And I definitely want these kits. They're some of my favorite. And I do need to do more reviews on these little guys. So prepare to see more in the future. The other thing is the price. Like I said, they're around $10. That is another big thing for me. I have a lot of hobbies now, and something that I can't do all the time is buy all the hobbies that I want to purchase. I do have a lot of kits already, but these ones are fast, cute. In a hurry, you can build it. You can do it in a couple, like an hour, maybe 2 if you really clean up. If you want to paint them, it doesn't take that long because they're so small. People have said that they are either the best little kits or the worst because they are kind of hellish to do. If you want to mask them, I could see that being hell. But at the price, it's an incredible kit for what you get. It's just, bam, there's your aerial. You got it done in an hour. you can get it done in even less than that if you want. You know, it's not a very difficult kit to build. That is why I really like the SD Gundam line. But I think that's going to be it for this review. I do recommend this kit. Yeah, it has a lot of stickers, a lot of color correction stickers, but a lot of them you don't have to use. You know, if you have a Gundam marker or something like that, you can fill in a lot of these. You can do just those cool details of the permit lines. I think that would be really cool. If you're like me and you don't really mind the stickers, it's not that bad a deal to put them all on. It took me maybe 20 minutes to put them on, like on top of the build time. So instead of 40 minutes, it took me an hour. It's not that bad. I don't hate the stickers. I know they do look a little tacky, but it is what it is. You have to take the good with the bad sometimes, and I really think that the good outweighs the bad in this case. So do I recommend it? Yes, I definitely do. Try to find one, purchase, see what you think. You might hate it. You might hate it a lot. I personally love them, and I do highly recommend. But that is it for this review. I will see you guys next time, or you'll see me, but more than likely you'll see my stuff. Bye-bye.